The San Jose Sharks continue their homestand as Ovechkin and the Washington Capitals come to town. Here's what you need to know.
You're Locked On Sharks, your daily podcast on the San Jose Sharks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, welcome to Locked On Sharks, the premier hockey podcast covering your favorite team in the Bay Area. My name is JD Young, caretaker of the Reef, also the co-host of Locked On NHL. Want to thank you for making Locked On Sharks your first listen, proudly part of the Locked On Network. We cover your team every day, and we continue our YouTube exclusive game day previews. Again, these are about 8 to 10 minutes long. We'll get you ready for the game this afternoon by looking at how these teams match up and kind of what to watch for in this game. So San Jose Sharks continue their massive homestand here against the Washington Capitals. The Sharks, of course, coming off a 4-2 win over the Chicago Blackhawks. The Washington Capitals got shut out against the Kings earlier this week, but have won before that, had won 5 straight games and are one of the best teams in the NHL. They've gone 6-4-0 in their last 10. The Sharks 3-5-2 in their last 10. But as we know, the Sharks have been playing better. So let's look at how these two teams match up. The Capitals this year, 43-15-8. They have less losses than the Sharks have wins this season, at least regular losses. But anyway, Sharks 18-40-9. The Capitals 3.61 goals for per game, best in the NHL. 2.59 goals allowed per game, fourth in the NHL. So they score a bunch of points and they don't give up a lot of goals. Power play 22.7, middle of the pack at 15th. And the PK 82.16, best in the NHL. For the Sharks, the goals for per game, 2.63, 31st. Goals allowed 3.67, 32nd in the NHL. Power plays at 20.1, 22nd. And the PK is at 73.7%, 27th in the NHL. Ovechkin leads the Capitals in goals with 33. Strome leads in assists with 44 and points with 64. Toffoli leads the Sharks in goals with 25, Eklund in assists with 35, and Celebrini with points with 49. Looking at the coughing baby versus hydrogen bomb matchup that is the Sharks Capitals game, the Caps are very good at basically everything. 5-on-5 goals for, their best in the NHL. Expected goals for, their 7th. Corsi for, like, their 12th in there. The Corsi numbers are maybe kind of a little bit average, but still, like, they're 12th when it comes to generating shot attempts, and they're 15th when it comes to giving up. But actual goals against, they're 9th at 5-on-5. Like, the Sharks are clearly outmatched here. This is the second best team in the NHL, and the Winnipeg Jets. And the Sharks are going from playing the second worst team in the Blackhawks to the second best team in the NHL. So very much, yeah. Ugh. Looking at the Caps, they're second in the NHL in points, only behind the Winnipeg Jets, first in their division. Like I said, goals for, they're number 1. Expected goals for, number 7. Like, this team is very good. Very good team this year, surprise to a lot of us, to be honest. So myself included. How they line up: Ovechkin, Strome, Wilson on the top line, McMichael, Dubois, and Protis on the second, Duheim, Dowd, and Bolivier on the third, Mangiapane, Eller, and Radish on the fourth line. Defensively, Sandin and Carlson, Fajarve. I practiced this one too. And Roy on the second pairing, Chikrin and Van Riemsdyk on the third, Lindgren and Thompson and net. Lindgren started last game, so I assume Thompson is going to be starting this game. And Thompson has been the better goalie of the two this year. So things just don't get easy. So for the Sharks, what to watch for this game? I do think, one, the Caps right? You get shut out your last game against the Kings. I have a feeling they're not going to be super happy and are going to try to come out and set the tone early. So the Sharks have started games very well. I'm curious to see how this game starts, especially with a weird 2:00 start time, Pacific time. Who can kind of find their game first? And if the Caps find their game first, this could be a long one for the Sharks right now. I think for San Jose, it's you have to start on time. You have to start on time in this game. That is one of the things I'm watching for is who starts this game on time. So other thing I'm watching for is Zach Ostapchuk. He's expected to make his San Jose Sharks debut on Saturday. He, of course, came over in the trade with Fabian Zetterlund last week. I know he was dealing with some immigration stuff, et cetera, et cetera. He's expected to make his debut. I want to see how he performs. Most likely going to be the lines on Friday. He was the fourth line center, right? And we know the Sharks have the bottom six has been a bit of a mess. So how does Ostapchuk play in this game? Can he provide some stability on the fourth line for the Sharks and kind of start to build some momentum towards the end of the year? So Ostapchuk and the bottom sixes play, and also how he gets utilized too. Does he get to play on the penalty kill? Does he I'm curious to see his utilization for the San Jose Sharks. A guy who's big body guy. We know, he's can skate. Played a lot, probably a little bit too early for the Ottawa Senators. So I'm curious to see his utilization with the San Jose Sharks. So, and then the other big thing I'm watching for is the rookies. How do they continue to perform? Because they have been carrying this team, right? It has been Will Smith, Macklin Celebrini. We've seen Colin Graf coming along. Shakir Mukumadula has been playing really well, but this is a big, big test against the Washington Capitals. So how do you play against this veteran team? A team that is, I know they lost, but they've been firing on all cylinders before that, right? Coming out of the Four Nations break, they scored like 15 goals in 2 games. This is an offense that can put it on you very quickly. And if things start to spiral, do the Sharks have an answer to try to at least slow down the bleeding if things do start to spiral? So I want to see if the rookies can continue to play well and perform well, and especially with Ovechkin on the ice. And we know what Ovechkin's trying to do right now, and his pursuit of catching Wayne Gretzky. Of course, there's going to be more media. It's not like he's going to score a bajillion, 8 goals or whatever he needs. He's not going to do that on Saturday, but we're going to start to see more eyes on the Sharks with this game as people following the Ovechkin pursuit. So I do not have a good feeling about this game for the Sharks. You're coming off a big win, against the Blackhawks. I do think the Sharks keep it close for a while, but I think the Capitals are a well-oiled machine right now. And I think especially the third period, I think they pull away in this game. So 5-2 Caps win. Give me a Toffoli goal, like a real goal, not an empty netter, because I think he's been very close lately. And he's gotten a couple empty netters, but at 5-on-5, he's been very, very close. I think he pots one today. I also think Ovechkin scores twice in this game. So yeah, just to kind of cut closer to it. So but yeah, I think Toffoli scores. I think Ovechkin scores twice. And I think the Sharks lose 5-2, where they feel good about, after the first 2 periods, but then the Caps, I think, pull away in this game. So we'll have a full breakdown of this game. And of course, we'll be talking about Barracuda as well, as they have a big series this weekend. So we'll follow all that on your next episode of Locked On Sharks, wherever you get podcasts. Of course, you can watch on YouTube as well.